All right, let's go. Let's freaking go. I am so excited for this stream tonight. We have got an awesome stream cooked up here for you guys. You know, you guys are great, right? I gave a little similar speech to this last week. You guys are always watching me do stuff, right? It's always watch me do a quiz, watch me play a game. Well, today we're changing that because today it's you, the viewer, that is going to be participating in this game. Caden and I have put together a special little Kahoot, Dr. Pigskin slash NFL edition. It's stuff that, let's just say it's right up your guys' alley. That's what I'll say. It's right up your alley. We've worked out some kinks and trying to make sure that this will work smoothly. So I really hope that this goes well. Hopefully this will be a seamless process. But before we get into that, before we get into the main event, a lot of news to talk about, a lot of stuff happening, right? Football really feels like it is back now. You know, preseason's been going on for a few weeks. You always say, Hall of Fame game, football's back. And then preseason games, football's back. We're still not quite to the main course. We're still not quite to the regular season yet. But cut down day was yesterday. We had another team make their quarterback decision. A couple of trades going down, some extensions, and just a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff that I want to talk about here before we get into this Kahoot. But as always, you guys know the drill. Feel free to say hello in chat if you're in here. We've got Jack, Mr. Riggs, and Caden in here already. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, guys. Hope you're having a good Wednesday night. Man, it's hard to believe. It's only this, and then next week. Those are the last two Wednesday off-season streams. Of course, next week, that's the big dog right there. That legitimately might be my favorite stream that I do all year. But we'll transition into that maybe towards the end. But yeah, next Wednesday is going to be crazy. Next Wednesday might be going for 3+ hours, as some people have pointed out before. And we got Pear Champ in here too. Welcome, Pear Champ. I'm doing well. I'm excited for this stream. Got a lot of fun stuff up my sleeve and a lot of stuff I really want to talk about. There's a suspension too that we'll need to get to. I'm looking at the ESPN top headlines right now. A lot of stuff going down in this past week, so we're going to hit all that. We got Mike McDonald chatter going on in here. Oh yeah, Mike McDonald. He is a sexy fellow. He's young, he's cool, he's hip, he's a good coach, and his defensive scheme, man, that's pretty sexy. All the simulated pressures and the creepers and just the way he's been able to maximize those defensive backs. Oh yeah. No, that Seahawks defense, man, they might be something this year. They might be something. But Caden is saying the guy who thought of it is probably sexy. Dude, truth nuke right there. Let's go. Shout out Caden for helping me make this Kahoot. And I got to give credit where it was due. This was his idea. We were kind of brainstorming how we wanted to close out the offseason. And I got to give credit where it's due. This man right here was the brains behind making a Kahoot. So that is going to be good. That is going to be good. But we got Wolf and Game Solved in here too. Welcome, guys. Yeah. I'm glad you guys are here tonight because I feel like you guys are going to enjoy this. Oh, man. Week 1 through, and I hate anatomy. Oh, for school. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. Senior year, right? Best of luck, man. Good time. It's a good time, though. You gotta enjoy it, even if anatomy is kind of a pain. You know. Caden, it's a good question. If someone was thinking of moving and it was a state in the mountain or central time zone, what time would be my off-season streams? Okay, so my streams, typically I've started them at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. So for mountain time zone, that would be 6 p.m., I believe. 6 p.m. Interesting. Mountain. Interesting. A state in the mountain or central time zone. Okay, I'm trying to picture that region right now, but very, very interesting, huh? But yeah, it would be 6 o'clock Mountain Time and then 5 o'clock Pacific Time, which, man, I don't envy the people on the West Coast, honestly. I know some people say it's nice, like football starts at 10 a.m. over there. I don't know, man. That's a tad early for me. I like building up just a little bit, To me, Central Time Zone is the best. That's my favorite. First games start at noon. The primetime games start at like 7:20. To me, that's perfect. 8:20 on the Eastern time zone, not going to lie, not my favorite. I don't love that the primetime games get done at like 11:30, but we move, we ball. All right, here we go. ND is in Central. I'm going to get technical. Most of North Dakota is in Central. However, there is a small part of North Dakota that is in Mountain Time Zone, and it's actually laid out really weirdly. I think it's just like past Dickinson, you go into Mountain Time Zone. And what really bugs me is that it's not like a perfect straight line. So you can be in Dickinson, I believe, and you're in Central Time Zone, right? But if you drive straight north from Dickinson, then that puts you in Mountain Time Zone, and it drives me crazy. Yeah, so ND is Central, starts at 7. and then Mountain Time, it starts at 6. Oh, man. All right, let's get into the news. I know. I'm sorry. I had to nerd out there for a sec. Isn't that fascinating, though, right? Part of North Dakota is in Mountain Time Zone. You wouldn't necessarily think that, would you? You would think that it's a Midwest state, but culturally and geographically, a lot of North Dakota I would consider to be more Great Plains coded, more Mountain West coded a little bit, right? Anyways, there's your geography spiel for the day. Where should we start? Let's just start with this one. This made me so happy. This went down this morning. Vikings making some trades. Here's what I'll say. Vikings have made a couple of trades within the past week since we last talked. Obviously, I was not the biggest fan of the Harrison Phillips trade. Still not, honestly. I don't know. It just doesn't make me feel good, honestly. It's not my favorite, especially for only 2 6-round picks, but we hit that last week. 2 trades that the Vikings have made since then. One of them I'm a big fan of, one of them not so much. So let's start with the good one. Let's start with Adam Thielen returning to the Vikings in a trade with the Panthers. This went down this morning. Boy, I tell you. I think this is a great move. The Vikings desperately needed some receiver depth, right? Jordan Addison is suspended the first 3 weeks of the season. Not only that, Jalen Naylor's banged up. Ty Felton's kind of an unknown right now. Truly, our wide receiver depth was looking just terrifying, just spooky, right? We could not be rolling into week 1 with the group that we had. So to go get Thielen, right? Maybe this is a sports movie moment. Maybe this is aura farming or whatever, right? But we get a much needed veteran presence, which I don't hate pairing a vet with JJ McCarthy, first year starter. And I got to tell you, is Thielen as good as he once was? Absolutely not. Is he as good as he was in 2017 and 2018 where he made Case Keenum look good? Of course not. He could still play a little bit, though, can't he? He could still play a little bit. 1,000 yards his first year with the Panthers, and then he missed 7 games this past year. Was on a 1,000-yard pace again this past season, right? He had some big games, couple 100-yard games. Still moving fairly well out there. He's definitely a bit more of a slot-only guy at this point, right? He doesn't quite win on the outside like he used to, but as a power slot, which is kind of becoming the meta in the NFL, a lot of these bigger slot receivers just overpowering these slot corners. It's a pretty good role for him. And especially, he'll only need to be the number 2 for 3 weeks, right? Once Addison is back and he's the 3, that's perfect. It's brilliant. So, all in all, big fan of this move. I know we might have gave up a little bit for him. If you sift through all the pick swaps, I think it ultimately comes out to more or less the Vikings giving up a 4th round for Thielen, right? Maybe that's a tad steep for a guy that's 35 and it's a 1-year rental, whatever, dude. We had 11 picks. I'm fine with getting rid of one of them to address what was a very serious need for this offense. So, and it just makes me happy, right? The kid from Detroit Lakes, the kid from Minnesota, back with the Vikings, the undrafted walk-on success story, coming back for one last ride as we try and make a push. Yeah, I'm down with it, man. I'm here for it. I think it's going to make our offense a lot better, and the vibes are high right now, so we'll take it. We'll take it. Oh, brother. So this is... Okay, I'm not going to lie. I was a little silly there. I was like, what are you talking about with this whole time zone thing? I mean, I'm always happy to talk time zones, right? I believe Russia is the country with the most time zones, which makes sense because, they're the largest country by area. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, China does not observe time zones. Anyways, but 6'7", this dude, 6'7". I just learned what that was the other day, actually. Kaden had to teach me what 6'7" meant. I like to think that I'm still plugged in and tapped in with youth culture, but And I still don't fully understand it. I mean, I get it. I know the lore behind it now, right? I've seen more Hoopify reels than any 25-year-old ever should. But all right. All right. Well played. Well played. I'll give you that. 6-7. Oh my gosh, we got Dimes Productions hitting it too. 41 Unk. See, I don't know that. I don't know that. I know Unk. I know Unk. I don't know 41 though. I actually don't know that. But welcome Dimes and welcome Sebastian saying we're getting too old. Yes, we are, man. Yes, we are, right? Feels like the world is starting to pass us by a little bit. And I'm sure if there's people older than me watching, they're probably like, you don't get it. No. And it's like, you're probably right. But there's just little bits and pieces of unkness starting to seep into me, right? How about the fact that the Vikings starting quarterback for the first time in my life is younger than me? I'm older than the Vikings quarterback. That's never happened before. And like, I don't know, maybe I'm out of touch for saying this, but like, I like to think that I look older than JJ McCarthy. Like, I feel like if I stood next to him, like he's obviously like taller and a little bit better built than I am, but I feel like people would be like, yeah, this guy's older. Be like, let's go. I just big dogged JJ McCarthy. Oh man. Oh man. Wolf is saying Joe Flacco will lead the Browns to the bowl. Yeah, sure. You know what? I like your positivity, right? Browns fans desperately need that right now. I like your energy. Spread that to the rest of Cleveland. Sebastian saying, can someone Photoshop Thielen in a Vikes jersey? Dude, yeah, what does it look like? I don't know. It's weird, like picturing him in purple, because I feel like he definitely didn't wear purple in college. He didn't play for a purple school in Minnesota in college, and certainly not in the pros either, right? So crazy. Man, there's so much lingo going down in here right now. Nah, Jack, there's not going to be brain rot in the Kahoot. Don't worry. The Kahoot is going to be up your guys' alley. If you guys have even been like passively following this channel a little bit, if you're NFL sickos, you're going to be okay. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. It's going to be a long season. No, that's fair. Yeah, you gotta stay tapped in for that lingo too when you're working with kids, I bet, right? My dad always used to say, not to dox my dad again, but here's what I'll say. He used to work as a pediatrician. He still kind of does, but he always used to say like, oh yeah, I'm listening to Camp Rock to like stay tapped in with the youth. It helps me with my job. It's like, all right, Unc, I see you. Oh, my brother. All right, let's hit some other news. All right, well, here's what I'll say. I alluded to this. There is something else I want to talk about. Yes, we're going to talk about the Vikings a little bit more. Whatever. The Vikings made another trade a couple days ago now. Those of you that follow me on Twitter might have seen my thoughts on this a little bit. It's not necessarily a big trade by any means. I'm not even sure if there's going to be like a full-on article for it. We just might get the Schefter tweet. Yeah. But here we go. The Vikings trading Mekhi Blackmon to the Colts for another one of those precious 6th-round picks. Real talk, man. Not a big fan of this, to be completely honest with you. Very similar story to the Harrison Phillips trade, right? Obviously, Phillips is a little bit better of a player than Mekhi Blackmon is, but it's like, man, do we really want to be like getting rid of players at probably our weakest and thinnest position like a week before the season starts? And I actually kind of liked the way Mekhi Blackmon played his rookie season, right? He didn't play last year, tore his ACL, missed his entire second season, but you know, he's a 3rd-round pick, and I thought he had a pretty solid rookie season. And it's like, man, like now we just have one less corner on the team. Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, I like Isaiah Rodgers a decent amount. I've been watching him a little bit more because it's like, please be decent. I think he'll be okay. Obviously, Byron Murphy is pretty good. But again, just a very small cornerback room right now. And I'm just really scared about like who's going to be starting on the outside. Right now it shows Tavir Thomas as our starting slot. I would be willing to bet he does not see a lot of time out as our starting slot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's going to be a lot of Byron Murphy and then maybe even like some Theo Jackson and Josh Metellus, right? I don't think it's going to be him a lot. So that means, like, is it going to be Jeff Okuda as our starting outside guy? I know, like, he's been getting some hype in camp, but we do this every year. This is like his fourth team now, right? And every time it's like, oh, he might be a decent reclamation project, right? Oh, maybe he's nice for the Falcons. Oh, maybe the Texans and D'Amico Ryans have unlocked him. And in Flores we trust. And I know the scheme he runs, like, isn't quite as reliant on corner play as like your standard vanilla defense, just because of all the weird stuff he does with the safeties and all the blitzing, right? I mean, it's not like the Vikings corners were great last year either, but it feels significantly worse this year. And I just think, man, that's playing with fire. With some of these good offenses in the NFC North, dangerous game to play. So not the biggest fan of the move. There's got to be like something else going on, right? He clearly like fell out of favor with the coaching staff. He was playing pretty late into the final preseason game, which usually isn't a good sign. I would like to think that Kwesi's got another move planned, right? I mean, we have so many draft picks we're sitting on right now. We just need to bring in someone else. So I would rather not go into the season with that corner group. So one good trade, one trade for the Vikings so far. Caden is saying good trade for the Colts, TBH. No, it is like a 6th-round pick, and they're a team that could always use a little bit more help in the secondary, right? They really attacked it in free agency. They brought in Charvarius Ward and Cam Bynum, right? Mekhi Blackman, Cam Bynum reunited now. And you got Lou Anarumo coming in. It's a complex defense. It's a very zone-heavy defense. You've got Blackman who can play in the slot, and even he played out at safety just a tiny bit his rookie year, right? So, no, it's really not a bad deal for the Colts. They've quietly made some nice moves on that defense, I will say. I know I killed the Colts last week, but I got to give credit where credit is due. They did make some decent moves on defense, but let's see, we got to catch up with chat here. What are we saying? Hopefully Groper Cleveland never comes back to torment the Browns. He's got to be done, right? I mean, I think at this point, everyone's just ready to move on. They brought in so many quarterbacks this offseason. They traded away one of them, which is kind of interesting, right? No more Kenny Pickett there, but I have to imagine, like, there's no way they're going to give him another year, right? They're just looking for any sort of out right now, and if they don't like Gabriel or Sanders, they might just draft another QB next year, right? Because that always works. Just keep throwing darts. I don't know. Dog by nature? Wolf. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Sometimes I just see the name and I read it. But Wolf is taking a photography class, but the teacher gave him a Bunz camera. It's a Fujifilm Fine Pix S3200. Not going to lie. For someone that, is kind of in the technology space just a little bit, I know very little about cameras. I even, took photos for the newspaper that I used to work at, right? I just used the camera that my mom gave me. I couldn't tell. I don't have a Fujifilm take, to be quite honest with you, but I'll take your word for it. That is kind of tough. That is tough. I actually took a photography class in high school too, my sophomore year. Good times. I enjoyed that class. It was a sleeper. Sebastian says they should, of course. Yeah, right. The Vikings should just fold and surrender to the Lions. Wolf is saying the Browns D-line looked insane during the preseason, hoping for them to go crazy in the regular season, despite the hole in the other edge spot. Yeah, I will say, Mason Graham, I kind of forget about him from time to time. Yeah, he could be good. Him and Myles Garrett, he could be good. Oh, boy. I don't have a Fujifilm take. Nope, sorry. I'm not Dr. Camera. Dr. Camboy. All right, let's hit the top news here. Top headline. This one actually kind of surprised me. This also came out today, and I think this is a legitimately massive deal, and we're going to really, really dive into this next week during the season preview, but I've got a lot to say about this, honestly. This surprised me, but I think it's good. I think it righted something that kind of upset me and stuck in my craw a little bit just a few weeks ago. Rashee Rice is in fact suspended for the first 6 games of the season, right? We all figured it was going to be a 6-game suspension. I feel like that was the vibes. That's kind of been the precedent for violations like these before. We all assumed it would probably be a 6-game suspension. But it was very curious a few weeks ago how, after the court decision was reached, right? Usually the NFL waits until that to hand out suspensions. It was just very curious. The NFL was like, nope, actually, we're going to have the hearing on September 30th. And I think I might have even talked about this on a stream a few weeks ago, but it's just very interesting. It's like, why would you wait like a month into the season, right? The Chiefs play 4 games and then all of a sudden they're going to have the disciplinary hearing. It's like, what's the point of that? That's so dumb, right? Like just suspend them, right? Not to get like Vikings bias and like not to like compare DUIs or whatever, right? Because like obviously they both deserve to get suspended, but it was just like there's a small salty part of me that was like very cool how the NFL was so quick to suspend Jordan Addison, but with Rashee Rice, you're like, how about we take our time? How about the Chiefs play the Ravens first and then we'll suspend him? It's like, come on, man, right? But change of heart, I guess. I don't know. They must have gotten together, figured something out. Rashee Rice agreed to the suspension. 6-game suspension. And man, I tell you what, take a look at the Chiefs' schedule. First 6 games, they've got Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Ravens, Jaguars, Lions. Without Rashee Rice, who is a very important part of their offense, I know they were without him for a good part of last year, but this is a big deal, man. This could turn the tide in the AFC a little bit. That's what I'll say. It would not shock me if the Chiefs dropped like 3 games here. Would it really shock you if the Chiefs started like 3-3 with Rashee's suspension and some of the tough teams that they have to play, right? Like, man, Eagles, Ravens, and Lions, they're going to be without their top receiver? I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough. Not to mention, like, the Chargers is not an easy game by any means, and that one's in Brazil, and we saw how wacky that game was last year. And dare I say, even the Giants and Jaguars are not easy games, right? They should be able to take care of business for the most part. They're going to win the division. They're going to be okay. I would not be surprised if they looked a little worse these first 6 games. I really think they're going to miss them. And this is a tough 6-game stretch right here, right? Man. I mean, it doesn't let up that much either, right? You get the Chargers again. You got the Broncos twice. You got the Raiders twice. You got the Commanders. You got the Bills. I mean, it's a tough schedule, right? You get first place. You get a first place schedule. You get a lot of primetime games, a lot of big games. Yeah. So this is a legitimately big deal, I think. This could like lead to the Chiefs potentially getting the 3 seed or something like that. Don't be surprised. That's what I'll say. I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, brother. The ring season parlay. ESPN's like, do it. Bet on our sports book. Do it now. Do it now. It's like, all right, ESPN. I am Dr. Interstate. No, please do open that door. Interstate 24. Let's go. Interstate 24. Oh, one of these days we will. Maybe next off season we'll have an Interstate 24 stream. Oh, Jack, trying to troll him. No, you are actually in luck, Rynasty. You have not missed the Kahoot. There's a reason. I wanted to build things up a little bit, right? And I wanted to hit some news, but I wanted to give people a chance to get in here. We have not started the Kahoot yet. So you're in luck. We have not started. I've got it pinned right here. We're going to switch over to it in a little bit, but there's a few more things I want to hit here. A couple of contract extensions and some interesting trade rumors. That's what I'll say. But I don't even see a story for it, so I'm just going to say it. Sorry, Packers fans, but to kind of paraphrase Squidward when Patrick asks him if mayonnaise is an instrument. This is a stupid joke I thought of. Oh, wait, how does it even go? No, Patrick, Micah Parsons isn't getting traded to the Packers. Man, oh man, Twitter was going crazy yesterday. All the former Packers fullback whose name I'm actually kind of scared to say was like, Micah Parsons maybe? All these like Packers reporters like engagement farming like, guys, the texts that I got were crazy. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it? Micah freaking Parsons. It's like, all right, bro. Here's what I'll say. Here's a little segue right here. If Trey Hendrickson didn't get traded, I'm sorry, man. Micah Parsons is not getting traded. And there's no reason why the Cowboys should, right? He's a generational first ballot Hall of Fame level talent at an extremely important position. He's maybe Jerry Jones's best draft pick ever. He grew up a Cowboys fan. He always wanted to be a Cowboy. I know that notes app that he posted was a little scary, right? But for as much as Jerry loves aura farming and like hamming things up for drama, Micah Parsons does too, right? I say this as a streamer. This man's got a podcast. Hey, I like to ham things up for drama too. Not hating. I respect the hustle, but I mean, dog, like Zeke was in Cabo like 2 days before the season started back in like 2019 and the deal got done, right? We all know how this is going to go. Nothing ever happens, right? The Cowboys are going to pay him like the morning of. I think the furthest that could possibly go is he pulls a Chris Jones from a few years ago and he sits out the first game, right? The season opener. Everyone's watching. The Cowboys lose. Their defense looks bad. Boom. All the leverage in the world. Deal gets done the next day, right? I don't know, man. Jerry puts the Jerry in geriatric, but he's not trading Micah Parsons, I will say, I do actually believe the reports that like the Packers have an offer for him. I don't think the Cowboys are necessarily going to take it, but I will say on like the 1% chance that it happens, I'm scared. Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared because that would make the Packers, I don't know, man. Let's just say, if it happened, I think the Packers would be my pick to come out of the NFC. That would be ridiculous because everyone needs Micah Parsons, but like he's exactly what they need. But say it. No, I'm not. It's John K. That's what I'll say. Looking back, it's crazy that Packers fans chanted his name when he got the ball. It's like, wow. I was a kid back then, right? I was like 12 years old watching it. I didn't know what that word was. But now I'm like, oh, that's crazy. He works for the Packers now, apparently. He's like a content creator for the Packers website or something like that. Good question. Dude, that's crazy, Wolf. That's crazy, Wolf. Oh my gosh. I'm laughing. You'll see why. Let's just say that's crazy, man. This dude got the script for the Kahoot. That's crazy. I was not alive for that game. That's what I'll say. If he got traded to the Lions, it's over for everyone, dude. If he got traded to the Lions, just give him the Lombardi. It's over. It's over. Now, Jerry has been a pretty good drafter, honestly, right? And he's always been good, especially in the trenches, man. He knows how to draft those offensive linemen. I don't know what it is. Some Nepo baby oil salesman from Arkansas. But man, does he know how to draft offensive linemen. I'll give him that. He is pretty good at that. Something came up on Spotify. Hyperbolic, syllabic, sequel mystic is so good. I might have to take a little picture of that. He's not affiliated with the Packers anymore. Oh, so is he really just like doing like the ultimate like engagement bait? Because he still had that in his bio. And I saw some accounts that I follow were like, that's crazy. A Packers employee is saying this. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know if he knows what's actually going on. What's up, Brent? Hola to you. How you doing, man? Good to have you in here. We were talking Browns a little bit earlier. Got my eye on Mason Graham this year. We'll see what he's got for us, right? Doesn't hurt that he's got Myles Garrett as his running mates. But good to have you back in here, Brent. That's awesome. Look at that, Brent going back to back to back. Bang. Let's go. Came up on Spotify. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll check out that song after the stream. I got a picture taken. I don't know if you saw me pull out my phone there real slick. But Njoku goes for 1,000 yards. Smash that Njoku over. I do actually like David Njoku a decent amount. I think he's a pretty good player. I could low-key see him being the leading receiver this year for the Browns. There's no way Luka gets traded. Yeah. True, dude. That would probably be like the closest thing we'll get to the Luka trade. I still think the Luka trade is crazier just because they were literally in the finals like however many months before, but man. Pearchap says Parsons is definitely going to the Packers. That playoffs loss by Jordan Love was the worst loss he ever experienced. Yeah, I mean they got spanked in that game, man. Yeah, maybe the Packers beat him so badly they like They bullied him into giving him their best player. Like he picked his person. True. That's fair. Let's just say I don't want to get clipped out of context saying his last name. That's what I'll say. I know he didn't choose that. Oh, man. Oh, webcam stuttered. Ruh-roh. Oh, man. Kanto remix. That's a crazy pull right there. All right. Anyways, couple of big extensions, and then we're going to get into the main event here. It looks like we got 15 people watching right now. That's awesome. That makes me happy because Kaden and I put a good deal of work into this one, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. But Trey Hendrickson, finally, the hold-in is over. Trey Hendrickson kind of got paid. He's going to be back for one more year, and it's a very interesting contract, right? It's not quite as much money as you think he would get. It didn't reset the market or anything. Significantly cheaper than like some of the other top guys. You look at like Myles Garrett and TJ Watt's contracts this offseason. A lot less. It's a one-year deal. And so the biggest thing I wonder, and maybe it says it in the article and I just need to do more reading. Maybe someone knows this. I wonder if there's some sort of language in this contract that says that the Bengals can't franchise tag him, right? Because that's what's interesting about the one-year deal. The deal expires. What if the Bengals just tag him and then we do the same thing all over again next offseason, right? I have to imagine they probably have some sort of clause, especially considering how cheap the contract is relative to some of these other edge contracts. I have to imagine there's some sort of clause that the Bengals can't tag him and that'll finally hit the open market next year. But I will say, good for Trey Hendrickson, right? This is life-changing money. It's generational wealth either way. And at the end of the day, like, it's his decision. I'm not trying to like pocket watch him or anything. But it's like, man, he is like 30 and he is someone that like I've kind of got my eye on a little bit. I'm not like quite as concerned about like him being washed as like TJ Watt, another guy who I've kind of just been like looking at a little bit, right? Closed the season pretty strong, has the most sacks in the NFL over the past 2 seasons, right? Still should be a pretty good player. I will say though, let's say he gets like only 11 sacks this next year. Still a really good season, right? Teams are going to see that. They're going to be like, oh, this guy's 31 now. He had a nice, like significant decline in production, going from 17 and a half back-to-back years to 11. It could cost him a little bit, right? And even if he hits the open market, he might not get that massive payday that he's earned from these past 2 seasons. So that's just something that's a little bit interesting too. But I got to say, man, I got to give some credit to the Bengals. Everyone thought they weren't going to do it, right? This has been the offseason of how terrible and cheap the Bengals are. And I'm not exactly saying, go Mike Brown, he's amazing and ethical. They got their deals done. They brought back Hendrickson and Higgins. They got them done. They brought back this team. You wonder maybe how high this team's ceiling is just with some of the holes that they have, especially on defense. But the gang is all back at least, right? And we saw they were at least competitive and like pretty good last year. So it's something. It's something. But they got it done. Pocket watching. Dude, I love hitting him with a little pocket watch. Call me Sir Topham Hat from Thomas the Train. What if Trey Hendrickson just runs away and shows up at another team's facility? Well, as long as he went to the Cardinals and not the Lions, right? I remember those Trey Hendrickson Lions rumors. I remember seeing that one tweet once where it was like, what if free agency and trades like weren't announced? And yeah, it was like wrestling. We're just like all of a sudden week 1, you see Tyreek Hill's running out for the Dolphins. Like, oh, you know. Oh man. Now Trey Hendrickson asked for a trade back-to-back years. But he at least got an extension. So you got to give him that. Jack says, I still think the franchise tag should not exist. Force owners to pay their players or lose them. Now I'm kind of with you on that. I think the franchise tag is a little antiquated. It's a little, even like back when it was implemented, I'm sure like if we did some critical thinking, we should have probably been like, hey, like this is not an ethical part of contract negotiations. It really is just like forcing them to work, you know? So I'm with you, Jack. We gotta get that going. We gotta get a campaign going to abolish the franchise tag, right? Maybe once the NFLPA kind of figures out whatever the heck has been going on, next collective bargaining, we can try and advocate for that. Maybe you and I need to run the NFLPA. Hendrickson's leverage was Bengals defense during the preseason. Yeah, they were getting cooked by Eagles backups. Jalen Polk is yeah, he got cut. So did Javon Baker, which was a shame because I really liked Javon Baker coming out of the draft. But here's what I'll say, and I still think probably drafting Drake May was the right move. Here's what I'll say though. I did a mock draft with some friends before that draft. So last year, right, I did a mock draft. I picked for the Patriots. I took a wide receiver, and I got crucified for it. I got ridiculed for it. Crazy, right? Oh, they don't need to take a receiver. It's just so easy. They could just draft a Pro Bowler in the 4th round. Everyone does it. Crazy. They still need receiver. They still need offensive line. Maybe they should have traded down with the Vikings. Crazy. Nah, salty Vikings fan there. Brent knew about future U.S. men's national team player Pedro Soma a week before it was public. Couldn't say anything until it was public, which was a week later. That's when you worked for San Diego FC. Dude, that's so sick. Having insider information like that. You got to be feeling like one of the most powerful men on earth, right? Just knowing something that no one else knows for weeks at a time. You could just walk into Hornbachers and be like, yeah, I know something. I guess they probably don't have Hornbachers in your neck of the woods, but you know about Hornbachers. Shout out Hornbachers. If you know, you know. Cordell Volson got cut. Oh, horns up, man. I can't lie. He was kind of rough for the Bengals. I understand why they did, but yeah. Truth nukes Sebastian. Let's go Unions, baby. Let's go Unions. Oh yeah. How does Desmond Ritter getting cut impact the luxury automobile industry? There's some safer the Ferraris are safe. The sports cars are safe. That's a good pull right there. Oh, we could have had something about that maybe. Oh well. Jimmy Johnson. All right. One more thing here, and then we're going to finally get into the Kahoot. Nothing too crazy, but I did want to just make note of the Commanders extending Terry McLaurin. I can't even find it. Whatever. It was about $30 million a year, about what you expected. The deal was going to get done, right? The Commanders were not going to trade Terry McLaurin right in the middle of what's more or less a contending window for them, right? And it just makes sense. He and Jaden have a great rapport, and they need him as their top receiver, right? So that's about it. And I mean, I'm looking. There's not a whole lot else. I mean, there was this, I will say. You know what? Good for Tavis. I hope they're happy, right? Taylor Swift and Killa Trav. It's like some super fancy, like, fairy tale photo shoot, right? Killa Trav. Killa Trav. Let's go. But good for them, man. Who would have thought? Imagine being a time traveler and showing these pictures to a football fan from like 3 years ago, right? I mean, isn't this just, who could have possibly predicted this, right? I remember when Travis Kelce was a guy, I would have said like, football fans know him, but if you don't watch the NFL, you probably don't know him. But like any casual football fan does know him. He's like the dividing line of the zeitgeist a little bit. Now, my mom knows Travis Kelce, and that's like my ultimate measure of like, if you're an athlete, you're popping like that if my mom knows who you are, right? My mom knows Messi. My mom knows Travis Kelce. Here's a good one. My mom knows Tony Romo because he used to date Jessica Simpson back in the day. And, you know, little Cowboys bump. But I remember once when I was like 11, I was talking about football. My mom said Tony Romo. I was like, what? Mom knows Tony Romo? Let's go. My mom's a certified ball knower. Heck yeah. But McLaurin's back. Tavis are engaged. Let's go. All right. We're going to switch to webcam only here, and we're going to get this sucker set up. It's time to play Dr. Pigskin Kahoot. We've got 5 categories, 5 questions each of stuff pertaining to the NFL and Dr. Pigskin lore, stuff that I think is right up your guys' alley. Now, Obviously, this is on a live stream, so there is a slight delay. So I've set each question to about 1 minute long. I ran some tests with Caden, and hopefully this means that you guys should be able to play pretty seamlessly just by watching my stream and then using whatever device, right? You can use your phone, you can use your laptop, whatever, right? Just as long as you have internet connection. You will need a second device, which is kind of a pain, right? But we've got the Dr. Pigskin Kahoot that I'm going to pull up here in a sec, and my hope is that this works seamlessly for you guys. It's not quite as clean as like your teacher putting it up on the projector or whatever, but my hope is that this is going to work pretty well. Caden, you hit the nail on the head right there. We had a blast making this. This is something that we want to do every year. I'm thinking this can be a nice little end of the off-season treat. And again, just like there's just something for you guys to do, right? Again, you guys are always watching me. It's time for you guys to participate. Laywell made it in time. Let's go. Let's go. 13, 14 people now. Let's go. You guys are joining at the right time. My mom does not know Aleem McNeil, but I tell you what, next time I talk to her, I'll be like, Aleem McNeil plays the run pretty well and is a solid pass rusher from the interior. All right, we're going to host it live. We're going to switch over. I have a separate scene in OBS just for Kahoot because I have to put my face cam in a special little position so you guys can see the questions and you can see the answers. And we're going to launch this puppy. Here we go. Game pin is coming up right now. You might be able to scan a QR code too. But welcome to the first annual Dr. Pigskin Kahoot. Sebastian asking, will the link be in the Discord? There's not necessarily a link that I can send for this. If you just go to kahoot.it, right? I guess it shows right here, right? If you just go to this address and then you type in this game pin, or if you just scan this QR code, that should be how you get in. And yeah, there we go. Mike McDonald is in. Let's go. We got our first person in. I think I know who Mike McDonald is. We got Laywell too. Look at that. Putting together the sick avatars. We got a sick penguin and a unicorn. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Wolf is saying, if I win, can you ship me Kit Kats? Maybe we could arrange something like that. We got Seba too. I'm assuming Sebastian. Let's go. Yeah, you guys. Oh, we got Wolf Flacco number 1. Let's go. Let's go. Fabrizio Romano. What a poll right there. Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. That's awesome. Game solved as well. Look at that. Give you guys a little bit more time. The QR code is working. That's good. I said Mike McDonald. Oh, that frog is sick. Pearchamp and Vita Vea's number 1 fan. Bang, bang. All right, let's give you guys a few more minutes here, like a minute or two to get in. Not Caden. Crazy. Either Caden's got a burner or Caden's got a big fan. That's what I'll say. Mr. Cheddar. Oh, it's Mr. Cheddar. That's awesome. What a pull right there. Oh yeah, we got dual penguins. We got skulls. Oh, I like the penguin with the football helmet on. Frogs. All right. Give you guys just a little bit more time here. We'll see if anyone else joins here within like the next minute or so. If not, we're going to get started. And I think even if you get in here late, you should be able to join too. So again, set it to 1 minute per question. For those of you that have not played Kahoot before, it's just four answers. It's multiple choice, right? You'll have the answer options on your phone, and then you look at the screen for your different options. You'll see it's pretty self-explanatory, and you get a few more points for like the quicker that you answer, but sometimes you want to take your time, and hopefully all these questions make sense. All right, let's get started. I'm giddy with excitement. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to Dr. Pigskin Kahoot. 3, 2, 1. It is a fun test of all things the NFL and Dr. Pigskin. Like I said earlier, we've got 5 categories, 5 questions each, and I'll explain each category as we get to them. So, first category we have is Vikings lore, right? Skull Vikes, baby. 5 questions about the Vikings. Each question gets a little bit more difficult. Again, you got 4 options, and there, for you guys' entertainment is a picture of young doctor. I believe this was my 7th grade Halloween costume. I was rocking the Adrian Peterson jersey and had a paper bag over my head. This was before Adrian Peterson was abuser, and I was no longer allowed to wear his jersey. Tough scenes, right? My childhood heroes fall from grace. Anyways, first question. Here we go. What year was the Vikings' first season in the NFL? What year, right? And let's try and be honorable here, right? Honor system, no Googling or anything like that. Let's just see how we do with no Google or any research. Looks like it's going right now. That's great. Yeah, you guys should have a good amount of time. Sebastian was a Kahoot god in his ethics class. Oh, okay. I like hearing that. There we go. See, we got one answer in so far. Answers coming in quickly. Here's a picture from, I believe it was the Vikings' first season. I just Googled Vikings and then the year, and then I like that picture. Look at that. All right. 7 out of 9 getting it correct. Let's go. Yep. It was 1961 was the Vikings' first season. They were not particularly good that year, but as a fun little fact, they won their franchise's first ever game, which happens a lot less commonly than you might think, right? I mean, expansion teams, usually they're pretty weak when they start out, but the Vikings beat the Bears in their first ever game. And it's a little bonus fact. 1961 was also the first year that the Twins played in Minnesota. So 2 Minnesota teams joining in 1961. But good job, you guys. Look at that. 7 out of 9 getting it right. Sebastian in first place. Let's go. Let's go. We got a couple guessers getting it right. Hey, no shame in that. That was the first one. I suppose my cam is blocking it a little bit. I might move to the other side here. But then I block names. Well, we'll just make it work. I mean, you guys could see that. But Sebastian, good job, man. Number 1. All right. Question number 2. Which Viking holds the franchise record for most sacks in a single season? Most sacks in a single season. Pick unrelated. It's just a pretty cool sack. Pretty cool moment. But which Viking most sacks in a single season? Franchise record. If you know, you know, man. We got some legends here. Let's see what we got. Answers coming in quickly. Now we got 5, 6 in already. There's Jonathan Bullard, who I can promise you does not have the record. No disrespect. But that was a pretty cool moment right there, wasn't it? Looks like this is a healthy amount of time. Look at that. 6 people getting Jared Allen. Yep. Shout out Culinary Academy, the rope tie, one of my childhood heroes. I still have his jersey, number 69. And now a newly enshrined NFL Hall of Famer, Jared freaking Allen. Let's go. Yep. 22 sacks in 2011. It was a terrible season for the Vikings. Only won 3 games, but Jared Allen nearly broke the single season sack record. It was on an absolute tear that season in what was a very good and a Hall of Fame worthy career. Let's go. Jack got it right. Had some guesses there. He is a Chiefs legend. That's right. Came over from the Chiefs in free agency. Oh, Alan Page would have been a good one, though. I almost had another Alan Page related question in there, but look at that. Game solved. Moving in the first place now. On to the next. Who was the Vikings' starting quarterback in their 2016 season opener against the Tennessee Titans? Season opener 2016. Who started at quarterback for the Vikings in that game? What a game that was. I remember watching this game on my TV. Shout out EK54. But look at those old Titans uniforms. Honestly, maybe it's nostalgia bias. I don't mind them. I kind of prefer them over what they have right now. But, man, this one's an interesting one. I'm curious to see what the stats are going to be like for this one. Oh, yeah, Al Baker. The unofficial sack king. Look at that. Oh, one got it right. Oh, this was a tricky one. An overwhelming majority saying Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford was on the team, right? The Vikings made a big panic trade for him after Teddy Bridgewater went down with that gruesome leg injury. The Vikings traded for Sam Bradford right before the season started, but he did not play the first week to give him time to learn the playbook a little bit and adjust to the offense. It was Sean Hill getting the start. Sean Hill That's crazy, Sebastian. You know that? I don't. I actually don't remember the fight. That sounds right though. 25-16. All I know is that Eric Kendrick scored a touchdown in this game and went absolutely stupid. The defense kind of carried, but no, that's fair, right? Because Bradford was the primary starter that year. Bradford started from week 2 onward, but Sean Hill opened the season as the Vikings starter. Who got Sean Hill? Who got Sean Hill there? Who was that? I'm curious, but that's awesome. That's supreme ball knowledge right there. Sean Hill. Oh, yeah. A little bit of Vikings lore right there. Nah, Bradford is a respectable guess. Keenum was the following year. That's a respectable guess too, right? That was a tricky one. That was level 3 for a reason. Let's take a look at this leaderboard now. Oh, Mike McDonald moving into first. And by a decent amount too. Look at that. Look at that. I see you, Mike McDonald. We got the real Mike McDonald in here. What kind of sicko would start Sean Hill week 1? Mike Zimmer. All right, here's a good one. What was the name of the Vikings live mascot who resigned? I forgot to update this a little bit. Who is the name of the Vikings live mascot who resigned in the middle of the 2015 regular season? It was I did some research. It was not before the finale, but you get the point. Who is this guy, pretty much, right? Used to be a live mascot for the Vikings. I think I've actually mentioned him on this channel a few times. But he resigned over a contract dispute and then went and said he was going to cheer for the Packers instead. Sent out like a really weird, bizarre video of him just like walking into the woods and like quitting on the Vikings. But who are we feeling here for Vikings live mascot? There's some Roblox lore connected to this one. One person got it right. It is Ragnar. It is Ragnar. Pair champ remembered. That's awesome. That makes me so happy. Yep. Ragnar. Shout out Ragnar, who asked for a raise. I think he wanted like 20,000 a year or something like that. Or was it 20,000 a game? I remember looking at it this morning. And the Vikings said no, and he said, all right, screw you guys. I quit. I'm a Packers fan now. But my Roblox username, back when I made a Roblox account when I was like 10, was Purple Ragnar 28. But there's Ragnar right there. Some tricky ones though, right? Victor is the Vikings suit mascot, like the guy in like the foam suit. That's Victor. A little tricky one right there. I'm a little mean with this, I gotta say. Ragnar is a sick name. Makes me think of Thor Ragnarok. Let's go. Let's go. Mike McDonald still in first. Pair champ shooting up into third. Clutching up with the Ragnar right there. Let's go. Yeah. Typical sports teams say no to raises. So true. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Final one of Vikings lore. Which day of the week have the Vikings never played on? The Vikings have played on all of these days except for one. Which day of the week have the Vikings never played on in their franchise's history? This is a good one right here. I was proud of myself for this one, I gotta say. 2K a game might work. Yeah. No, again, I was mean. I made a whole category about the Vikings. There's some Viking stuff sprinkled throughout here, right? A little bit of bias for my team, but we're just getting started. There's a little bit of everything. But 20K. Okay, that makes yeah. I mean, shoot, like honestly, for all the work he's putting in, give that man 20K a game, you know? All right, what are we feeling here? Correct answer is Wednesday. The Vikings have never played on a Wednesday. I believe there's actually only ever been one NFL game in history that was on a Wednesday, and it was that Ravens-Steelers game during the COVID year in 2020, that one that kept getting postponed. Look at that. Jack guessed, and he got it right. He got the Wednesday. Let's go. Yep. Tuesday, that would have been the 2010 season. They played against the Eagles. That game was originally going to be on Sunday Night Football. Snowstorm hit Philly, postponed it to Tuesday. Saturday, NFL does a few Saturday games each year, right? The most recent time the Vikings played on Saturday was 2023 against the Bengals, the Jake Browning game. And then Friday, shudders. Christmas Day, 2020, Vikings versus Saints. Alvin Kamara goes supernova. That was on a Friday. But there you go. That was a little tricky one right there, but I like that. And as Caden is saying, now it's time to start getting into some of his questions. Yep. Shout out Caden. He helped me cook up some of these questions here. I gotta say, there's some wild ones in there, I gotta say. Look at the leaderboard. Laywell moving up. Mike McDonald still holding strong in the top spot. Laywell up into second now. We got a good leaderboard right here. Here we go. Hey, no such thing as fraudulence yet, right? We are just getting started. We are 1/5 of the way in. Now it's time for category 2, and it's name the play. And it's a combination of name the play or like figure out what went on in this play. So you will see some sort of GIF or screenshot of a play, and it's going to be a question about a certain play. And these are not just any sort of plays. These are plays that we know. That's what I'll say. But I say GIF because Kahoot doesn't let you do videos. You have to do GIFs. So I had to take screen recordings of some of these things and then convert them into a GIF through Adobe and then put them in here. But it's worth it. So forgive me, because we're going to start off with something related to the first category. But this is a nice, easy one. This is a nice little softball right here. What play is this? What play is this? What play is this? That's all. Pretty simple start right here. This play is famous. It has a name. Let's just say I was there. I was there. Oh, yeah. I take this seriously, man. 7 answers. Oh, yeah. As soon as it's popping up, I'm sure people are putting it in. Bang! Look at that. Everyone got it. Yeah. Do we even need to say anything else? Let's go. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it! Let's go. All right. Question 2. This is a fun one. What was the result of this play? It looks like we got a Monday night football game between the Bengals and the Browns. I believe this was actually on, I can't remember if it was actual Halloween night or the day after Halloween. What happened on this play? What was the end result of this play? Jack says he knows. Let's go. I was at that game. The Minneapolis Miracle, I was. Me and my dad. Legitimately, probably a top 3 day in my life, honestly. That was a surreal out-of-body experience. But yeah, I was at that game. I was sitting by the end zone. I wasn't on the sideline. I was on the opposite sideline. But Diggs ran into the end zone that I was sitting by. It was so sick. Oh, look at that. 3 people got it right. That's right. This was a Jacoby Brissett rushing touchdown. Yep, and I'm going to pull it up here. Shout out Jacoby Brissett. I am going to switch over here. I'm going to pull it up. Let's see if I can find it on YouTube. Oh, yeah, I had it up here earlier today. Sorry, a Geico ad is playing right now, and then we're going to watch it. Oh, my glorious king, the GOAT himself, Jacoby Brissett. See, yeah, I threw in some sneaky ones like Sam Hubbard scoop and score, right? Because, that happened that same season, but that was in the playoffs, right? But let's just watch the GOAT play quarterback here for a sec. We're going to switch over. Is it this one? It is. Lucky guess. Let's just watch greatness for a sec, man. Just give him a chance. He can do stuff like this. They say he's not athletic, but he's athletic enough. Just give him a chance. And I promise he'll shock you. Oh, I just want to see him play like 4 games in the Cardinals offense this year. I just want to see like 4 games. But anyways, if you don't remember that play, there you go. Oh, man. He won me over that night, and I just haven't been able to quit him since then. Jacoby. No, unironically, Jacoby Brissett is like the best quarterback the Browns have had since 2020 Baker. I'm so for real, man. Like, he's been better than Watson's ever been. I'd say he was better in those 11 games than Flacco was when he came in. He's better than like DTR and like whoever else they've trotted out there. But yeah. Oh, Dr. Pigskin is live. No way. Did you see that? I'd like to suggest it or something. Lucky guess right there. Let's go. All right. I might have something bucks in here. I can't remember. Also, peep the shirt, Ryan Nasty. Thought you might appreciate this. All right. Next question. No movement on the leaderboard. Who was the intended receiver on this play? Sebastian, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's connected to a stream of mine. This is connected to an iconic stream. That's what I'll say. But who is the intended receiver on this play? I had to refresh my stream here. Hopefully it's working out well for you guys. I don't know how big of a delay it is. Looks like we've got some answers coming in, but yeah. I'm sorry, Sebastian. I had to. Jack hated this stream. Oh, yeah. 49ers. That's right. 49ers. Oh, yeah. Dude, that was like, this might sound crazy, and I promise I'm not like creepy. That was like the first stream you were in, I believe, because I remember you just blowing my mind. I'm like, oh, this JTWK guy is cool. And then I was talking about Michael, and you said, well, fun fact, I'm Michael's brother. I'm like, dude, no way. I believe that was that stream. But yeah, no, the outcome, that's fair. Yeah. Yep. Oh, dude, I love our memory. That's awesome. But yep, it was Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds dropped the ball. That was the first fourth down attempt for the Lions. But you know what? I stand with Dan Campbell. Those were the right calls. You know, it ties into one of my videos too. So, but what a terrible play. Yeah. Tough. But welcome, Kirakat. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Kirakat. We're playing NFL/Dr. Pigskin Kahoot right now. If you're interested, we've got the game pinned down below. If you want to join, get in, see if you could start a spirited comeback, or if you just want to kick back and relax and watch, no issue with that as well. Hit some preseason news earlier, some cuts, extensions, all that good stuff. But now we're having fun with this. Oh, I like their unis now. I don't know. I like their unis now. We're disagreeing on another uniform conversation. Mike McDonald holding it down in the top spot. All right, here we go. What was the play call on this play? This is a deep cut right here. I know, another Vikings thing. I'm sorry, but oh, man. What was the play call on this play? There might be like a small handful of people that remember this stream. That's what I'll say. See, I got myself back here a little bit. Oh my gosh. For those that are confused, I'll tell the story and explain the lore here. After everyone's answers are in, but this is an OG Dr. Pigskin moment right here. Monday night, Bears versus Vikings. Jack knows. That's awesome. That's awesome. No, time is running out. Time is running out. Oh, I'm sorry if people are lagging behind. No. Man, one person got it right. It was a screen to Brandon Powell. Close game, Vikings 1-point lead, not quite in field goal range, but close, right? Bears only one timeout. First down more or less ends the game. And the Vikings, after forcing a turnover, go run, screen on 3rd and 9. And that was indeed the crash out stream. This is probably one of the biggest crash outs that I've ever had on stream, where I gave my famous speech where I said, and for the second week in a row, we have lost because we are cowards and losers. Good night. No, I played GeoGuessr afterwards, but I was so mad, dude. We were 6-5. We were fighting for a playoff spot. Josh Dobbs just had an absolute stinker, and it felt like the magic was over. This loss really took the wind out of everyone's sails, right? Lost a heartbreaker to the Broncos on Sunday night the week before, and then Dobbs just stinks it up. It's like, yeah, it's over. It's over. Dude, this was when I had like 3 people in my streams. This is a deep cut right here, but man. That's crazy. Game solved. Got it. He didn't remember. Oh, man. That's awesome. All right. Here we go. This one's crazy. What was Jim Nance's call of this 34-yard pass to Tyreek Hill? Hey, for those that watch my videos, those that remember one of my videos, I don't know. Some people might get this one. I really think so. Some people might get this. But what was Jim Nance's call for this play? And for those that aren't familiar, I'll get into the significance of this play in a little bit. But you guys might remember this game. Hey, here's a Bucks question right now, Steve. Sorry. The Bucks are the victims in this question, unfortunately. Although, y'all did get him back in the Super Bowl. But here's some Bucks content. What did Jim Nantz say? Jim and Tony in the booth for a big game. You were at this game, really? Wow, that's sick. Well, you might have been at a disadvantage then because you weren't watching it on TV. One person got it right. A little sling to hill. No, it's a stupid question, but so I know it's a dumb question. But so for those of you that remember my how one quarter caused the NFL scoring decline video, right? This was the quarter in question where Tyreek Hill went for like 200 yards. And this was the very first play of the game. This kind of set the tone for the whole quarter. And I had a little sick cinematic compilation in the intro of my video. And I made the mistake of like not blurring out the graphics or getting rid of Jim Nantz's call because I ended up getting my most popular video copyright striked. Whatever. It doesn't keep me up at night, obviously. But the play call was a little sling to hill. I don't know why. Just the way you delivered that line, Jack. Who on earth knows that? You know? I feel like that's the point of these level 5 questions. It's just me humoring myself a little bit too much. But let's see how this changed things. Look at that. Sebastian getting it right. Moving into third place. Here we go. The Bucks got a question. They did. He was on your fantasy team for that game? Let's go. That's sick. All right, here we go. Here's a little bit of Immaculate Grid action, kind of. For those Immaculate Grid enjoyers, you are going to enjoy this next category here, right? Shout out Ryan Nasty. We're going to play Who's That Player? You guys have probably seen these on like Instagram or Twitter or whatever you frequent these days, right? It's just going to be a little silhouette of a player and then the logos of the teams that they've played for, right? Another way you could look at it is Name the Journeyman, and shout out Caden for coming up with these players. We've got 5 of them, and we're gonna do a little game called Name the Player. Who's that player? Let's get it rocking. Who is this? Who is this? Here's the player. Here's the teams in order, right? 1, 2, 3. And then starts over. Yeah. You guys get the point. Big truss. Woo woo. Who's this player? Look at that. The Bucks mentioned again. Look at that. Man. Nothing beats a nice swig of water. Only Bucks question. We got some more Bucks, right? Kind of. Answers coming in here. We got 6. Look at that. Sweep. Clean sweep. Let's go. Ryan Fitzpatrick. That is correct. The OG journeyman, right? The typical journeyman. Everyone knows him and loves him. Fitzmagic. Could have been Michael Jordan. Could have been. Look at that. Everyone gets it right. No one moves. Look at Mike McDonald killing the game right now. But we still got a close race here. All it takes is someone to go on a little bit of a run to shake things up here. We're about like halfway through right now. All right. Here's another one. Who is this? Who is this? Well, here you go. Seahawks right here. Look at that, Jack. Seahawks. Who is this? Yeah, looks like we might have had a few people disappear. That's okay. It's understandable, right? Maybe people lagged out or stuff like that. Maybe people are like, how on earth am I supposed to know it's a little sling to hill? There you go. Seahawks mentioned. Leader of men, Ben Roethlisberger. He's done stuff all right. Look at that. 6 of 7 getting Brandon Marshall. Oh, yeah. Sneaky. I won't even say sneaky good. Like everyone knows about Brandon Marshall, but really good career, I gotta say. You know, kids these days don't know about prime Brandon Marshall. He even had a sneaky good year on the Jets in 2015, but I tell you, man, Broncos Brandon Marshall was different. He was just different. Look at that. Good showing right there, though. Let's see how this shakes things up. Oh, we've got some movement on the leaderboard. We've got Sebastian moving up a little bit more. Top 5 still solidified. It's still anyone's game. 6-7. 6-7. Dr. Pigskin just said 6-7. Hoopify. All right. Next question. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Oh, man. Welcome to the QB school. JT O'Sullivan got massive. Oh, man. I got to say, this was a crazy pull from Caden because I actually had to look up all the teams that this guy was on, and I had to like verify a few things. Most of these, I like to pride myself in saying, like, yeah, I knew all of Brandon Marshall's teams in order. Yeah, I know Fitzpatrick's teams in order. I had to look this one up. I had to verify. Hoopify mentioned. Hoopify was mentioned on Dr. Pigskin's stream. Good Lord, the internet is a scary place. No. Okay, good. Everyone got theirs in time. Look at that. Yep, it was a fullback. Lorenzo Neal. Look at that. Look at that neck pad right there. Look at those massive shoulder pads. Lorenzo Neal. I'm not going to lie. I only ever really associated Lorenzo Neal with the Chargers. I did not know that he played for like any of these teams, to be honest. When I saw Lorenzo Neal's name on the Google Doc, I was like, really? He's a journeyman? Yes, he is. I actually did not know that, so I learned a little bit. There you go. That was a good one right there. Getting some fullback love in. Look at that. All right, let's see how this shook things up. Pear Champ moving into third now. Oh, baby. Sebastian's closing the gap a little bit. Oh. I really am doing a little bit more Burger King foot lettuce than Hoopify, honestly. I need to get my Hoopify impression done a little bit more. If you don't know who Hoopify is, you're lucky. All right, next one. This is the second to last one. I was about to say this is the final one. It was not. Excuse my bad formatting here. I'm sure I could have dragged these down to the center a little bit more in Canva. Whatever. Who is this? Who is this? This is another one. I was like, I knew he played for some of these teams, but I had to look this up and be like, really? I didn't know he played there. I didn't know that. But who is this? Really? I suppose. That's right. He was a part of the Music City Miracle. He was. That's true. Yep. Lorenzo Neal, Frank Wycheck. You're totally right. Dude, I got caught lacking there. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Does this make Dr. Pigskin the new Riz King? Look at that. Earl Morrill. How about that? Old school quarterback right there. Earl Morrill. Not going to lie. I only knew him as a Colt and a Dolphin. I had no idea he played for these other teams. No idea. But there you go. Earl Morrill. Yeah. You could do process of elimination right there, like Justin Smith. John Stallworth. Ahmad Bradshaw, I thought might be a little tricky, right? Just because you might see Giants and Colts, and it's like, oh, Ahmad Bradshaw. But look at that. Good showing right there from the fellas. Good showing. All right. Here's the last one. Oh, Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. Moving into fifth. Last one. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Oh. I'm a merchant of his. If you know, you know. Ahmad Bradshaw is goated. Oh, Amp Lemon video on the 72 Dolphins. I suppose he was the quarterback for a little bit, right? I know they had some injuries in that QB room, but I suppose he was still on the Dolphins in 72. Leah O'Connell. No, don't trade Jefferson. No. Right, Nasty's been in seventh the whole time. He's gotten every mystery player right. Well, I'll tell you what, he's heating up here. Look out, folks. Here we go. All right, 6 in. Let's see. Who's going to get this one? Lot of teams. We have the Eagles on here twice. It's Jason Babin. It is Jason Babin. I have referred to myself as a Jason Babin merchant on Immaculate Grid. He is a crazy journeyman, has had an insane career, was respectfully a nobody for the beginning stint of his career, right? First 3 teams, really, even like first 4 stops, right? Broke out randomly with the Titans, like in the middle of his career. Broke out, had a crazy season with them, got like 15 or so sacks, got signed by the Eagles as a part of the dream team, right? They made all those free agent signings like Nnamdi Asomugha. They had Michael Vick, LaShawn McCoy. Vince Young was calling it a dream team and everything. And they completely fell flat and disappointed. But Jason Babin was like their one offseason acquisition that actually showed up. He had like 16 sacks that season. And then he went back to just not really doing a whole lot. Just a very fascinating career. A very short but big peak as a pass rusher. And like what? 9 different teams, 10 different stops. Crazy career right there. Josh Johnson would have been a good one. I threw Josh Johnson as a little option, like a little red herring, right? But there you go. Jason Babin. Ryan Asty's pulled all these guys on grids, dude. Grid players know. There you go. Ryan Asty cleaning up this category. No, yeah, Fitzmagic is just too iconic. You're right, Caden. 14th team, yeah. 14 teams would have been crazy to fit on my little Canva template, too. Oh, man. All right. That was a good one right there. Look at that. Let's see how this shakes up the leaderboard here. Oh, game solved shooting up. Look at that. And Mike McDonald, 5 in a row. He's cooking, folks. Mike McDonald is cooking. All right. Next category. Sorry, no fun pictures for these. I kind of ran out of time and just couldn't really think of any like fun pictures or visuals or GIFs. But this is a little game of whose stats are these? So it's just showing a stat line. These are all single game stat lines, right? So the question will simply be a single game stat line. And I tried to, I actually only ended up picking one of these. Caden took the lead on this, I should say. We tried to come up with iconic, well-known stat lines. There's a few that are just like a little bit harder, a little bit more niche and deep cut, maybe sling to hill level, but it's pretty self-explanatory. But I will say, Caden, I can't lie. I did make an executive decision. I did insert one new stat line. You'll see. And Wolf, holy crap, dude. You're a prophet. All right, here we go. First one. First stat line. Again, single game stat lines here. 8 carries for 20 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown, alongside 8 catches for 195 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. Who was this? Who did this? Crazy stat line right here. Crazy game. Who did it? Look at that. 4 answers in so far. We'll take that. Still got about half a minute left. I'm curious to see. Some of these ones are crazy. Again, some more crazy deep pulls that I had to look up and be like, wow, that's actually crazy. You were right, Sebastian. You were absolutely right. It was against the Raiders. And you're right. It's Jamal Charles, often referred to, this name is crazy, often referred to as the Jamalacost. Jamal Charles going absolutely nuclear. So as a runner, but 8 for 195 and 4 receiving touchdowns. Lord have mercy. Good heavens. All-time great fantasy performance. And yes, it was against the Raiders, and they blew them out. And look at that. The gap closing a little bit. The gap closing. Some movement. All right, next one. This is crazy. 3 catches, 163 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's crazy. Oh, man. Shout out Wolf. That's crazy. Number 2. 3 catches, 163, 3 touchdowns. Caden says that's the whole reason you picked it, the name. No, that's fair, right? I mean, it's an iconic. Not often you get a nickname for like a single game performance, right? Like it's players that get nicknames, right? Yeah, everyone got it right. Oh, I bet you're feeling very vindicated right now. That's fair. Yep. I, hey, I could help myself. It's the iconic. This is like, maybe this could have been level one, honestly. This is like one of the most iconic single game stat lines ever. Randy Moss, Thanksgiving Day, rookie season against the Cowboys. 3 catches, 163 yards, 3 tuds? Come on. Get out of here. Let's go. I wasn't alive for that game, though, as I discussed earlier. Oh, that's right. 2013 Raiders. Yeah, Nick Foles did hang 7 TDs on him. That's right. There you go. Sebastian went crazy on button timing. Well, look at that. You're hanging around there. Look at that. All right, next one. Who did this? 5 carries, 1 rushing yard, 3 rushing touchdowns, right? This is the classic Instagram stolen meme. Who did this? That's what I should have. Next year, that's what I'm going to call this category. It's going to be crying, laughing emoji. Who did this? Crying, laughing emoji. Oh, who did this? I'm going to write that down. 5 carries, 1 rushing yard, 3 rushing touchdowns. What an awesome stat line right there. That is an honorable game of football right there. And look at that. People cleaning up the bus. Jerome Bettis. Let's go. I love the Matt Asiata guess, though. Whoever guessed Matt Asiata, you're goated. You're absolutely goated. I threw in Matt Asiata as an option because he did once have a 3 rushing touchdown game where he had like 20 yards. I was at that game. It was Vikings versus Eagles 2013, week 15. Matt Asiata had 3 touchdowns and they were all from like 2 yards out, and he didn't do nothing else. Oh, man. All right, I'll move my window up and down like when we do the leaderboard here. Now that's Jack's trying to keep his score secret. There you go. You know what? I'll keep it here for the next question, because if it doesn't block the question, then I'll just keep it there. But look at that. Mike McDonald breaking 10K. Come on. No, guessing Matt Asiata is so awesome, though. Shout out Matt Asiata. What a player he was. All right, here we go. Next one. Who did this? I guess you could see the question, dude. I'm tripping. I'll just leave it up here. I'll move it down for like a tiny bit while the question goes, but then I'll move it back up. This one was a crazy one. I'm not going to lie. I actually didn't know about this one. Caden dug this one up. I actually had no idea that this existed. When he said this, I was like, wait, really? 45 for 70. 426 passing yards, 3 tuds, no picks. And of course, Caden made sure to include 20-point comeback win over the Vikings. Who did this? No, now game solved is unseen. No. It does feel a little Favrean, doesn't it? But is it? Or is Brett Favre a little red herring? I love me a good red herring. It's a great trope right there. Oh, Sebastian. Well, let's see. Can the last person get their guess in? No. Oh, one person got it. It was Drew Bledsoe. Favre is a great guess. Honestly, if I was playing this, I probably would have guessed Favre too, right? I mean, 70 pass attempts for Terry Bradshaw in a game is crazy. Josh Allen, he's a gunslinger, right? But he hasn't played against the Vikings too often. Brett Favre would have been a great guess. I had no idea, honestly, that Drew Bledsoe did this. But by golly, he did. 70 pass attempts. This was back in the 90s too, you know? But yeah, Favre would have made a lot of sense, especially because he just played against the Vikings so much. Oh, man, yeah, crazy bait right there. Brent got it? No way. Did Brent just cash that? Did he Steph Curry cash it? Let's go. All right. Now I'll move. Look at that. No movement. No movement on the leaderboard. Next question. Who did this? I believe this is the final one. Another crazy poll right here. We'll keep my window up here. 2 for 17. 25 passing yards, a pick, And a win. And a win. Who did this? Chat, who did this? This is just foul. And yet they won. I didn't know about this one either, but this is my favorite performance of all time now. 2 for 17, 25 yards, a pick, and a win. Freaky commenter. Crazy. All right. Let's see what the guesses are looking like for this one. We got 6 answers in. It was Derek Anderson. Jay Cutler's not a bad guess. No love for Rusty Smith. Dang it. I was like, Rusty Smith. Woohoo. I wanted to put Jeff Toole in there too. But Derek Anderson. I'm not going to lie. I have zero memory or anecdote about this game. But what else is there to say? They won. They had to have been playing in like a hurricane or something, right? Jack guessed and he got it. Well, look at that. He stays up top. He stays on top of the leaderboard. Game solved moving into third. Bazinga indeed. All right, here we go. Final category. It's time for some doctor lore. I'm proud of myself for this GIF. It's all about me. Am I a narcissist? Maybe a little. Maybe a little. But also, Peep Gothberg in the back, eating his pizza, chilling with Ozzy. I'm freaking out. I'm like, no way. Caden's a little surprised. And Jack's just like, huh? Oh, man. Bonus points. Not actually. I can't actually give out bonus points. But brownie points. Yep. I was just about to say brownie points if you know what that reaction was to, if you know the context of this GIF right here. Yep. I still have that screenshot you took of this too, Jack, by the way. But yeah, I will say I thought about having maybe a question for this in here, but it is just a nice little interlude. But Deke's Pizza, this guy knows ball. Let's go. The Amarian Hampton pick. All right, here we go. First question. Which team was the first team of Dr. Pigskin? Right, I officially announced them as the team of Dr. Pigskin. Which was the first team of Dr. Pigskin? The team of Dr. Pigskin. Real ball knowers might know this one. I don't know. I think some people might get this. This is great. This is level 1 too, but I did break a chair, maybe. I'm fat. It was not my Mike McDonald reaction, but honestly, that should be my average Mike McDonald simulated pressure reaction. When he dials up a free lane for Leonard Williams, oh, no one got it. That's crazy. This one is mean, honestly. This is a mean first question. Pearchap knew he made a mistake. I was counting on you, Pearchap. I thought if anyone was going to get it, it would be you. But yeah, this is some deep Dr. Pigskin lore right here. And it was the first question, but it was indeed the 2023 Rams. Yep. I believe it was week 2 of the NFL season. Because I was doing my pregame show. I was talking about the Rams' week 1 win against the Seahawks. Matthew Stafford looked sick in that game. Hence the GIF, right? We were all worried about Stafford going into that year. I was a little worried about him. He had that scary elbow injury. He didn't play that well in 2022. Everyone thought the Rams might have been cooked. Stafford goes and balls out. Puka Nacua goes and balls out. And I'm like, holy crap, dude. The Rams are making the playoffs. This is the team with Dr. Pigskin. Like, I'm riding with the Rams this year. And by golly, they did. And it's been a nonstop love affair with the Rams ever since. 2024 Colts that was technically the second team of Dr. Pigskin. But they were, in fact, the team of Dr. Pigskin. 2026 Seahawks, I tell you what. Maybe. The vibes have got to be right? If Seattle goes out and makes the playoffs this year, I don't think I can make them the team next year, right? It's got to be a team that, like, was not in the playoffs that I'm, like, hoping makes it in this year. which I guess I know I've proclaimed the Bucks as the team of Dr. Pigskin, and I don't want to go back on my word, especially because the Buccaneers treat me very well on this channel. But deep down, I think there's another candidate that's going to get announced this next week. That's what I'll say. And some of you guys that have been following along might know. There's probably a few different teams dancing around in your head right now, but let's just say, shout out the Bucks. They will always be the homies, right? I've got the Bucks shirt. I've got a Bucks towel behind me. But I think since they made the playoffs last year, I'm going to have to break their hearts and disqualify them. But anyways, you know, you're right, Caden. This is the last round. It's going to be tricky. No change in the leaderboard. Here we go. Oh, brother. Who did the Doc pick to win the NFC South in 2023? This is another little throwback right here. I'll move my window down just a little bit just in case you might have missed it. Going into the 2023 season, who did I pick to win the NFC South? Think about that season for a little bit. Think about, I don't know. I mean, if you guys know me, you might know this. Who did I pick to win the South? Oh, that's a bummer. I'm sorry, Sebastian. That's tough, dude. Man. Well, I tell you what, the replay will be up. It's going to be a doozy. Look at that. The Panthers. Oh, the Panthers. Yep. You know, I was like, the NFC South looks terrible. I can be different and pick the Panthers because I like Bryce Young and I liked some of the young players that they had and I liked their offensive line. And I said, you know what? Why can't they go 9-8 and sneak in the playoffs? Why can't they win the division at 9-8? And then they were the worst team in the NFL. They won 2 games that year. And here's the thing. I got clowned on in the moment for this pick. I vividly remember Henry saying, Eric, I love you, but I'm sorry. This is your worst take. Like, this is the worst take you've ever had. And I was like, oh, you know, like, whatever. He's a Falcons fan. He doesn't know the Panthers like I do. No, he was right. Mistakes were made indeed. Shout out if you know the show this GIF is from right here. Oh, all-timer. I've made a huge mistake. Oh, tough. A few misclicks right there. Clicking too fast. That is tough. Yeah, I had a little callback to it last week. It's always been a love affair with the Panthers. Always been a love affair. Ooh, business trip. Okay, I see you. Let's go. That's awesome. Well, best of luck to you on your business trip. That's exciting. All right. Next question. A little bit of movement. Fabrizio Romano moving into 4th place. Mike McDonald holding strong. Not a lot of time left. Can he close it out? Next question. Which game was Dr. Pigskin rated by Tom Grossi for the first time? And I say first time because, well, I've been fortunate enough to have a Grossi hat trick. Some of you guys might remember a couple of the Grossi raids, but which one was the first one? Which one was the first Tom Grossi raid? This was a surreal night right here, honestly. The OG Grossi raid. Grossi posse. Shout out to him. Chaotic good. There he is right there. Look at him. Dude, I saw YouTube is giving him like special abilities, special powers, but like he's going to be able to do his streams at least for the Friday night game this year. He's going to be able to stream with like actual footage of the game. It's like, dude, that's so sick. That is so sick. There we go. Did I actually bring this up last week too? I might have. Sometimes I forget what I talk about, but yep. Vikings versus Eagles, 2023, Thursday Night Football, Week 2. A little fun fact for you guys. My first ever game stream. I was just like, oh, the Vikings are playing. It's prime time. Let's stream it. I had no idea what to expect. Had no idea how it was going to go. Had a lot of fun. Got some new people in here thanks to the Grossi raid. I was like, you know what? Let's do it again next week. And from there, the game streams were born. Yeah, earliest date. There you go. That makes sense, right? But for getting it right, we're getting down to it. We're getting down to it. Oh, we got some movers. Pear Champ into 3rd. Laywell into 4th. Rhinasty into 5th. Oh my goodness. Holy macaroni. Some movement. Really? That's awesome. Your brother co-hosts a Packers pod and had Grossi on. That is sick. Now, he does seem like a genuinely good guy, right? It's very cool to see someone that has a platform like his and uses it for good too, like not even just the raids, but like the 30 and 30 raising money for St. Jude. I mean, yeah, he does some pretty cool stuff, and it is awesome. I might be many years down the line, but I would love to do even half of what he does to help others out. So it is pretty awesome. Shout out Tom Grossi. All right, here we go. Next question. What did Dr. Pigskin order at McDonald's when I ate my feelings for the first time? Here's a GIF from it. If you know, you know. Some of you guys might remember this. Went to McDonald's in good old Cleveland, Georgia, after the Rams beat the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. It was a sad day because I said, this is not going to be 2016 all over again, right? We're not going to start an epic losing streak after starting 5-0, right? What was my order? The first eating my feelings stream. Yeah, Kaden kind of cooked with this one. What was my order? 2 got it right. It was the chicken Big Mac. That's right. The second time around, I got a regular Big Mac meal. But the first time, it was the chicken Big Mac because, dude, it was the marketing. It was the ads. They got to me. And I said, man, you know what? I actually kind of want to try it. I'd never even had a standard Big Mac before. But I was like, I want to try a chicken Big Mac. I would not shut up about it. And I really wanted to try it. And at first I said, if the Vikings win, we're going to celebrate with a chicken Big Mac. And then they lost. And then I said, you know what? Time to eat my feelings. And I went on stream to the Cleveland, Georgia McDonald's drive-thru. And I got myself a chicken Big Mac meal with medium fries and a Sprite. And I ate it sadly. But then I did a fast food tier list too. So good times. That's crazy. Oh, man. That's awesome. Yep, I did have to try it. Yep, that's awesome. Dude, Jack, you are absolutely killing the game right now. Let's go. Yeah, that's a tough one, right? Big Mac or chicken Big Mac. A little bit of a toughie right there. All right. Here we go. Let's see how the leaderboard is shaking out. Look at the Ryan Asti comeback. You're right. He's on the leaderboard. Man, Mike McDonald. Sweet mother of pearl. Last question. Who was Dr. Pigskin before Dr. Pigskin? If you know, you know. Man, I wish Michael was in here right now. He knows. Michael would know this right away. Jack might too, just because of the Michael connection. Oh, man. This is an all-timer right here. Who was Dr. Pigskin before Dr. Pigskin? This is deep on the iceberg right here. I might have made some passing comments about it. This is a good one. One person got it right. One person got it right. It was necessary roughness. You're right. That is what this channel was called before I rebranded or whatever into Dr. Pigskin. That's a long story for another day. But, man, look at that. Gridiron Goblin. That would have been sick too. What if I changed my name to Gridiron Goblin? All right. Let's take a look at this podium. Thank you guys so much for playing, by the way. I really appreciate it. You guys humor me all the time with all these silly things, right? Again, sometimes I humor myself a little bit too much with a little sling to hill, but I'm glad that you guys enjoy this kind of stuff. So this was a lot of fun. This was something Kaden and I wanted to do for a while, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let's take a look at the podium. Here we go. Third place, Laywell the Frog. Second place, Sebastian the Bear. And in first place, running away with over 13,000 points, it's Mike McDonald the Penguin. Mike McDonald the Penguin is your inaugural Dr. Pigskin Kahoot champion. Congratulations to you, Jack. Let's go. What a dominant performance right there. Some say it's Drew Lock-esque how dominant you were. That's awesome, man. That makes me so happy. I like to think that that was a smashing success. I don't know. What do you guys? You guys enjoy that? You guys have fun? I like to think that that was a smashing success. Hopefully can fine-tune some things even more for next year. But truly, this, I hope, is going to be a channel staple here. A nice little end of the off-season treat. Thank you, Pearchamp. I appreciate that. Let's go. Let's go. Some immaculate grid, or is it too late? I tell you what, Ryan Asti, it's getting to be about bedtime. It's getting to be about the summer I turned pretty o'clock. It's a different story. But I think we're going to wrap it up here. I will tell you, though, because I know you love the grids, Ryan Asti, and I have been missing the grids a little bit. Those are a thing that I love to pull out in the middle of the season, right? Halftime grids, starting off the pregame show with some grids. We're going to save the grids. But, yes, good point, Pearchamp. Yeah, I know. I said last week we were going to try and maybe get a draft set up. Things got a little crazy. I ended up having another draft pop up. Just been working on some stuff, which I'll elaborate on in a few weeks. It's good stuff, I promise. I know it sounds like ominous, but I know you had mentioned, Pearchamp, that you're going to be busy this weekend. I'm going to be out of town Thursday to like Monday afternoon. But I will try and make something work. Maybe like Monday or Tuesday night, we can try and do a speed draft or something, because I would really like to make this league happen. But yes, peep the Discord for fantasy football. If it makes it easier, I have no issue setting it up with ESPN, honestly. Like, if that's what people are more comfortable with, I have no issue just going over to that. I can set up a link for that, but I will be persistent in Discord over these next few days, and hopefully we can coordinate a time for maybe Monday or Tuesday or something like that. But I believe I want to say I at least tried to send the link to you, Ryan Asti, and I don't know if like some people just didn't get the link. I'll try resending the link, because I double checked, because I remember we talked about this a few weeks ago, Ryan Asti. I could have sworn I tried to send you the link, and maybe something got screwed up or something. But I will try and make that happen. Let's just say you're on the short list, Ryan Asti. That's what I'll say. But I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I had a blast. I will see you guys again next week. Same time, same place. Get some caffeine and some popcorn, because next week is the big dog. Next week is the final off-season stream. It's the mother of all streams. It's the big one. The season prediction stream, where we go through and we pick every single game of the NFL season, from the season opener all the way to the Super Bowl. And we'll have an extra little twist in there this year too. I've reworked it just a little bit. I've kept the secret sauce in there. The secret sauce is picking all the games, but I've fine-tuned it a little bit. So hopefully it'll be an even better product this year. 3rd year running, big dog prediction stream next week. I can't wait. Football's back, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Shout out Caden for all the work that he did on this. He absolutely killed it. I will see you guys next week to talk some freaking ball and make some predictions. And then after that, it's kickoff time, baby. All right. Y'all take care. Y'all have a good night. Until next time, the doctor is out.